Now, for the past 7 years, you have been extremely spoiled with this wheels. You know it as the one-step cleaner and degreaser that no matter how bad the wheel is going to get the job done 100% of the time, no questions asked. Now, what if I was to tell you this formulation right here is so sophisticated that its uses extend beyond the wheels? Yep, you've guessed it. Now, the number one question that we get about wheels is, can it be used on paint? Well, of course it can. Now, I'm going to show you and explain to you the first Easter egg as to why it's better than a traditional fallout remover. A lot of people will look at the color change and go, it's a fallout remover. Yes, some part of it is. Is it 100%? Is it 1%? Because something turns purple doesn't necessarily mean it's only a fallout remover within the bottle. Now, what we have done in 2018, we wanted to knock the market out. We're like, right, too many people are putting fallout removers into a bottle and calling it a wheel cleaner. That is not a wheel cleaner. Argue with me in the comments all you want. It is not a wheel cleaner. So what we did is we took 50% of the bottle. Now, it's got multiple fallout agents in there, yes. Now, the other 50% of the bottle is actually a heavy surfactant base. Now, what you're going to see as well in the next Easter egg after this is why the surfactant base is so important. But when you are doing a chemical decon, yes, the fallout is great, but part of the decon process is you begin stripping things off. It could be sealants, waxes, whatever's in the paint. You want to give yourself a head start ready for the next step. So the surfactants actually begin degreasing the paint as it's starting to also react with the iron fallout removers. So you're getting a 2-in-1, hence why we call it 2-in-1 wheel cleaner, 2-in-1 product, because not only are you having a reactive reaction, you're also having a degreasing reaction on the paint. Now, while I'm recording some B-roll, while things are getting moved around within our HQ car park, etc., this has been on for about now 11.5 minutes. Still, it is not dry. Just to prove to your point, this was never the intention to prove it like this, but the most important thing is there is a difference, a visual difference between what a premium formulation can do and what a cheap formulation can do. Cheap formulas dry onto the surface in under 3 minutes. 11.5 minutes in, let the camera do the talking. So the chemical decon, it's not difficult. You want to spray this everywhere. Now, what this is going to do, it's going to, first of all, you're going to see, if you've got a light color car, you're going to see a color change in the reaction. Yes, that is the embedded particles. That's something that a wash, a pre-wash, and a contact wash can never remove because it's embedded. But as that's reacting, what it's going to do as well, the degreasers, and this is, again, you don't have to have it, but this is what we wanted to have. This is why it's the #1 product in the world. You want to then help, rather than taking potentially a heavier clay step, a heavier polish step, all these type of things later on, you want to make it as easy as possible. Now, if you watch this, can you see any drippage? Absolutely zero. Look, it's very slowly moving down. You don't want the product to hit and run off, because otherwise it's not reacting with anything. So right now, zero. There is literally zero drippage. Again, all done by design. You want this to be stuck onto the panels for as long as you humanly can. So yes, this can be used on paint. Yes, it can be used on glass. Yes, it can be used on plastic trims. Soft plastic trim, hard plastic trim, windscreen wipers, windscreen. You can use it wherever you want. You just need to get it on and you need to let it do its business. Now, the next one is actually a little bit mad, but I'm going to put a spin on this behind an explanation. Now, the car's washed, the car is clean, you're ready for the decon step. You can actually use this as a clay lube while you're doing a decon step. Did you hear that? Yes, 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 I said it. Yes, I said it. Now, here's the spin behind it, that there are certain people out there who will say do this, and they will instantly clay like that, right? Now please explain to me in that case, if you are using, you know, probably one of the most expensive formulations in the world, it's not a car shampoo, it's not a detail spray, it's not a clay lube, you know, this is a 2-in-1 wheel cleaner, so it's more expensive than the alternatives. Why would you spray and immediately clay? Now, I'm going to ask you this question to understand the way I'm thinking. What is the purpose of doing a chemical decon, right? So imagine you spray it. What is the purpose of this dot doing right now? I'll let you a second to think, but I'll answer it for you. This specific spot right now needs to have the time to sit and actually begin dissolving and rounding the edges off of the actual iron particle before it can be rinsed off, wiped away, anything like that, right? So if you are not giving something a chance to begin dissolving right now, you are literally taking a piece of clay, whether it's synthetic clay, organic clay, old school, etc. You're taking it and you're just rubbing it in. Now, here's the method I would do. You would first of all spray it all over the panel. This is the goal, right? It needs to begin to dissolve. And actually it makes the clay steps a lot easier because the clay isn't getting destroyed as much with bigger rounds of, imagine whether it's tar or it's iron, in this case iron. You don't want to jack up your clay bar, clay block, anything like that, or clay towel. Depends on what you use. So imagine, let it do its thing, you're gonna see it bleed purple. Come back in 30 to 60 seconds. 30 to 60 seconds later, you should start seeing a lightning reaction, okay? Now, still, you know me, I'm a lubricious guy. I love the word lube. I like to then obviously just pre-treat it a little bit. This step you don't have to do, I like to do it. And at this point, one, you have more product on the panel, so now it's slicker. And second of all, you are not picking up big rocks of iron filings on your paint, because at the end of the day, if you do that, then your paint step correction or paint correction step is going to have to be a little bit deeper, because you in your own little way have potentially, this is all potential, but you have potentially jacked up the paint even more because you're grinding, you know, big pieces of rock into it. So right now it's had the chance to react, and look, it's just, listen to it. There's nothing. It's begun, you know, I'm seeing a lot of runoff, and that's the goal. So this is the thing. This is not a dedicated clay lube. Before anybody says, do not use this inside. Do not think, you know what, I'm just going to randomly clay my car and I'm going to use, you know, half a gallon or 4 or 5, you know, bottles of wheels to do this. Now, I do this when you're doing a heavy mechanical decontamination, because you're going to be polishing anyway. And you're actually saving your step for the fallout remover anyway. So, boom. All right, but what you will see, just look at how foamy this is, right? The foaminess does not come from the fallout part of the bottle. This comes from the surfactant degreaser part. Look at that, it's almost like a car shampoo. It's as if I'm washing the car. And what you'll also feel when you do it, please try this by the way, it's really, really neat trick this, is you'll feel, because the surfactants are so strong and so concentrated, that you'll feel that crazy slickness. Look at that. Whee! Very slick. Obviously it's not a car shampoo, but it has an advantage. Fallout removers will never carry this. Look at that. Thick. See, get nice thick foam off the back of the agitation, and you should feel your panels after this, and guess what, they feel like ultimate pieces of clean, smooth glass. So how is all that possible? Well, let me tell you this. This wasn't done by accident. Now, back in 2018, now hear that again, 2018, we set the standard here of how can you make a product that maybe you don't have to use a dedicated product 1, then a dedicated product 2. How can you? This for daily drivers, high performance cars, everything, you know, where you are using your car more than once a week. How can we set the bar so high? Well, here you have it. And we have a very good saying around HQ. Every product that we make, every product that we pour blood, sweat and tears into has many layers. All you've got to do is just look a little bit closer. Now, this is why the Easter egg series actually exists, because a lot of people, they send us so many DMs, so many emails, and I thought, you know what? Wheels is next in the firing line, because we get so many questions. Can this do this? Can this do that? Well, you've just seen it. So whether you're using it as the traditional method on the wheels, check. If you're using it as a paint decon touchlessly, check. And if you are then using it as an added sacrificial layer of not only reactive power, but also slickening power, big green check. So I hope you have enjoyed this. Now you know that this product can do all three things within the decon line of steps out of one bottle. Please, you know, use your mind, use your knowledge, and use a little bit common sense of when you look at many products. That's all I'll say. And just use your common sense. And all you've got to do, like I said, is just look a little bit deeper. I will see you guys all on the very next Easter egg video. Love you guys.